On March 13th, 2020, a day that will live in infamy, I, Jacob Da Silva, had to get my wisdom teeth removed. The experience was intense. I lost all feeling within and around my mouth. I could hear the grinding, drilling, and tearing of the teeth within my mouth. I started to laugh during the event, not knowing if it was a way of coping with the situation, or because of how barbaric the whole situation felt. I felt all this for an hour, and by the end of it, I thought, hey, that wasn't so bad. But that was just the beginning. Intense pain soon set in 3 hours after the torture, and the pain was very difficult to handle, to the point where I was on the verge of breaking down. But I managed to get through it, and the pain would slowly recede during the March break. Oh, and I should mention that COVID-19 was declared a pandemic, and schools were closed, and I got a new gaming PC. But I digress, and probably should get on with this talk. As you all are aware, we haven't been to school for about 3 months, and going outside is now a matter between life and death. These 3 months of having little to no physical human contact, and being alone most of the time, has given me time to reflect upon my life and get into deep thought. Which is what I would like to say, but to be honest, I've just been playing video games and mindlessly finishing my schoolwork. This assignment, however, has given me the opportunity to start reflecting on the 3 months. So what I have here for you today is that, during these times, I have learned the importance of time, fun, and friendship. I'd like to start off with telling you about the topic of fun, and to be honest, I don't know where to start, so I should tell you a story. During March break, when I had my wisdom teeth removed, and was still recovering, I couldn't talk much, and was just playing Minecraft, which is a sandbox game, with Mark Guile. It was just the two of us, when more people started asking if they could join, and before I realized, there were 6 people, including me and Mark, playing the game. We were having a lot of fun playing the game together, especially due to 2 of the players not being good at the game, and with this in mind, I said, let's defeat the Ender Dragon, which is the final boss in Minecraft. So, as a group, we adventured off to look for the stronghold, which contained the portal to the end dimension, and we entered the portal to find the dragon. We fought valiantly, taking out the healing towers which would heal the dragon, making it unreasonable to attack it. And once they were all destroyed, we attacked the dragon, using a combination of swords and bows. We struggled to kill the dragon, with the dragon's minions, the Endermen, attacking everywhere we went. But after a while, we killed the dragon, and obtained the egg, which would be used to bring back the dragon, and in that moment, we stood at the portal back to the overworld, and thought how well that whole endeavor went. This is how I thought the fight would be, but it was much worse than I thought. On the way to the stronghold, our 2 new players died, and lost all their equipment, so we had to spend some time retrieving it. Once we got to the stronghold and entered the portal, we thought it would be easy to kill the Ender Dragon, but we were so wrong. We also had to get mauled to death by the Endermen, making so we lost all our equipment and had to re-pick them up. But we would still get attacked by the Endermen while retrieving the equipment, making it very difficult to even start the fight in the first place. For most of the fight, me and Mark were the only ones able to take out the healing crystals due to being alive long enough with our equipment. The 2 new players who were not that good at the game soon built a small shack to take shelter from the many Endermen that were attacking them. While the other 2 players, well, they were being mauled to death while trying to get their equipment back. After around 20 minutes of shenanigans, we got rid of all the healing crystals and started to attack the dragons itself. But we would die multiple times just even trying to get close to the dragon. But by sheer luck, we managed to kill the dragon with Mark getting the final blow, which killed one of us in the process, but he doesn't want to talk about that. We then finally picked up the egg and went back to the overworld to celebrate, which is what we should have did. But instead, us being idiots, we decided to go back to the end with the egg. And long story short, we lost the egg. And I would tell you that story, but this is already getting too long. So what I'm trying to get out of this story is that before this event to March break, I didn't really play with or talk with people online, with the only exception being Mark, but even then, we would not talk much due to school. This moment, however, meant a lot for me. It made me a bit emotional, because I knew that something like this would have never happened during normal school days due to the workload. This kind of event would become a frequent occurrence, however, in May, when I would start to get invited to play with games with friends and would meet more people to socialize with. Before COVID-19, fun events for me would usually only occur during lunchtime, after school, sitting in the music room with my friends, and walking home with my friends. It would never happen online due to the crushing workload school gave us. But COVID-19 gave me and a lot of people the chance to start obtaining online memories within games, start creating fun memories with more people, and this has been an amazing way to release built-up stress within me. Whereas before, I would usually just deal with stress by sleeping, which did not work much for me. You could say that I learned the importance of having fun, just having fun from time to time, playing with friends, and releasing stress. Beforehand, I didn't really get this chance only during certain times, as mentioned before. So, this is one major thing, like you can say, I've learned during the quarantine. After that gaming experience with the group, I would go around 2 months without much contact with people, other than the occasional talk with Mark or music class, where me and some people would hang out after class and chat. During this time, I became very lonely and would have little to no motivation to do anything, just lying in my bed, watching videos, reading, sleeping, and mindlessly doing my work. My only highlights during this time were my music class, which gave me the opportunity to interact with my friends and would be the highlights of my week, which is pretty sad. My life would be this way until around mid to late May, when I would get contacted by one of my friends to join him in a game, and that's when our quarantine life would change. I started to get invited to more calls and games, and started to enjoy my days again, and do more things around the house. That's when I realized that when I'm at school, I always told myself that I wanted some more alone time and more time to think. But when I did get that time, I learned I like to be around people more than being alone. I did have a family to talk to, but they were mostly at work during the weekday, leaving me alone for around 3 hours a day, and would not be the same as talking to a friend. The feeling of having someone to talk about your emotions and laugh with, which was way better than being left alone with my thoughts. I found that friendship was very important to me, and that is one of the reasons why I try to have close friendships with people instead of just making a lot of friends. Friends are irreplaceable. They'll always be with you during hard times and even your low times, and I experienced this firsthand. Getting invited to play with my friends opened up a gate for me, and now in June, we have made a Minecraft world together where we have unleashed our creativity and made everlasting memories together. Time. What is it? Wikipedia states that time is the indefinite continued progress of existence and events that occur in an apparently irreversible succession from the past to the present into the future. What does this mean? I don't know, but I felt like it was a good way to make this talk feel so philosophical. During these 3 months, I've had time to think, even though I didn't like it much, but I came to realize many things. Ever since I was in grade 9, I've always had a love and hate relationship with time. On one hand, time brought me closer to developing new relationships and seeing new things, but also brought me closer to the adult world, which I have had certain fears about. But once I got to grade 12, I still had this relationship, but hoped I would move faster due to many interesting events happening in grade 12, like regionals, nationals, and Canada's Wonderland for music, and the prom, the retreat, and graduation. I was very excited for these events actually, but all of a sudden, the schools were closed. This sudden closure made time feel very slow. Going to school normally made time feel irrelevant, with whole chunks of the school year feeling like a flash or a blur, but this closure only brought time to the forefront. I would lay in my bed looking at time pass, with each day thinking about how I never get this time back, that my days of high school memories were over. I came to realize that I no longer could get any memories of grade 12 music life, no retreat memories, no lunchtime or class memories, and especially no graduation or prom memories. These realizations cut deep within me, and while I felt these emotional pains, time still moved ever so slowly. I've learned not to take time for granted during these long days, which during school I would wait in anticipation for the school day to end, but now I find myself wishing for the school days to return, for the days where I could come to school in the morning, talking with my friends in the foyer, sitting in the boring classrooms, my lunchtime talks, hang around the music room after school, and walking with my friends. I truly do miss these days. Oh, and I just remember that you gave me some guidelines to talk about, but I don't know if I talked about everything, so I'm just going to speed run through all of them right now. I've learned a lot about myself during the 3 months. Some I've mentioned here, some I didn't, and I'd rather not mention the ones I didn't. And about my family, it's the usual really. They didn't get fired, so everything's a-okay. My neighbors aren't dead, which is all I really cared about. And I didn't pay much attention to my community to learn anything of value. The only thing I would do differently is that during this experience, I'll start taking time less for granted and start to embrace more moments in my life. And how I'll remember this whole 3-month experience is very depressing. This way I can say has been my experience with the last 3 months. I've been playing the game Minecraft recently, which is why it appeared a lot in this video, but the game itself being a really fun and memorable experience, and I do hope I'll play this game with my friends throughout the summer. It does suck, however, that I did lose thousands of potential memories from high school, and I'll technically be thrown into post-secondary school with no real training. But hey, I gotta say, these 3 months have been a-okay. And I could end off on an emotional or inspirational note, but I'm very tired, I'm too lazy to write a script for that, and GG, miss. But seriously, miss, don't take marks off. Why did I say notes? Damn it!